There's a lot of people that look back at what you said in 2019 when you first ran for president. And there have been changes, and you've talked about some of them. When it comes to immigration, you supported allowing immigrants in the country illegally to apply for driver's license, to qualify for free tuition at universities, to be enrolled in free health care. Do you still support those things?
Listen, that was 5 years ago, and I'm very clear that I will follow the law. I have made that statement over and over again, and as Vice President of the United States, that's exactly what I've done, not to mention before.
If that's the case, you chose a running mate, Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota, who signed those very things into state law.
And
we are very clear, and I am very clear, as is Tim Walz, that we must support and enforce federal law, and that is exactly what we will do.
Hot tip for you. Kamala Harris is convincing no one with that pathetic answer.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
She's acting like 5 years ago was a past life.
Well, just as I thought.
So Kamala Harris's handlers decided to let her have an interview on Fox News. It was only like a 25 minute interview, or at least that's all they were really showing, because she really couldn't handle more than that. We all know Kamala Harris cannot handle an interview with her not, what did Bill Maher say? Pre-ass kissed?
This week she did a media blitz she went to Howard Stern and Stephen Colbert and The View. Places where, I would say the ass is pre-kissed.
That's basically what Kamala Harris has been handed since she's been running for president. Either she's hiding in the basement, eating ice cream with Joe Biden, or she's going on interviews where her ass has been pre-kissed, giving her softball answers and letting her ramble on about growing up a middle-class child.
I grew up a middle-class kid.
So going on an interview where they're literally going to treat her like the debates, the moderators have been treating Donald Trump, and actually hold her feet to the fire and actually give her hard questions, it was quite entertaining to watch her try to wiggle out of them. You could tell she just wasn't used to this type of treatment. Again, she was really trying her best not to answer any questions. I love when he was really hammering the immigration issue and she kept saying, like, let's get to the point. It's like, yeah, the point is the question, and which you have not answered.
How many illegal immigrants would you estimate your administration has released into the country over the last 3.5 years?
Well, I'm glad you raised the issue of immigration, because I agree with you. It is a topic of discussion that people want to rightly have. And you know what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, but just a number. Do you think it's 1 million, 3 million?
Brett, let's just get to the point. Okay, the point is that we have a broken immigration system that needs to be repaired.
So your Homeland Security Secretary said that 85% of apprehensions.
I'm not finished. We have
it's a rough estimate of 6 million people have been released into the country.
I also love the fact that they pointed out that this policy that Kamala Harris keeps saying, because she keeps touting this around lately, saying like, well, we had a bill that was going to fix the border, but the Republicans didn't want to vote for it. It was a bill to pathway to citizenship, not to control the border, not to fix the border.
When you came into office, your administration immediately reversed a number of Trump border policies.
Within hours of taking the oath was a bill to fix our immigration system.
Yes, ma'am. It was called the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021.
Exactly.
It was essentially a pathway to citizenship.
Like the same type of protection she gave to the Haitian migrants who invaded Ohio.
That is why, also, starting with our administration, we gave TPS, temporary protected status, to Haitian migrants, 55,000. And then more recently, we extended temporary protected status to over 100,000 Haitian migrants.
It wasn't to fix the border. So the 4 years of you being a border czar, you completely failed and can literally refuse to take responsibility for that. It's actually really sad. I don't see how anybody would trust that she's going to do the job now when she refuses to acknowledge the problem and refuses to acknowledge the part she played in it and her administration played in it, and can't even point out how to fix the issue in the first place.
There have been around 10 million encounters at the border, and the DHS estimates at least 6 million have been released into the United States. The US Border Patrol Union, representing 16,000 members, has officially endorsed Donald Trump for president. Here is Border Patrol agent Paul Perez speaking about it.
If we allow Border Czar Harris to win this election, every city, every community in this great country is going to go to hell.
She refused to take any accountability, any accountability when it comes to the failures of the last almost 4 years of her administration. I love that the interviewer, I don't know his name, and by the way, I don't watch Fox News. I don't watch any of these mainstream legacy media platforms. I don't trust any of them. But I'm gonna give an applause where it's needed here. And the guy who was answering the questions or asking the questions, I love the fact that he pointed out and said, you had the presidency, the Senate, and a Congress. You had the presidency, the Senate, and a Congress. You had the presidency and the Senate and a Congress, especially when you first got into office. Why didn't you get this shit done?
You had the White House and the House and the Senate, and they didn't bring up that bill.
Why did you allow the immigration problem get as bad as it did? And I just love how he pointed that out, because, again, she keeps trying to push the bar back onto, but Donald Trump's rhetoric, though, he's so mean. He says meany things, guys. It's like, okay. And even when they try to bring up Biden and the fact that clearly you lied when it came to him not being senile and struggling mentally, clearly you lied to the people. Why did you do that? And when did you first start noticing his failed mental state? And she doesn't want to answer the question, and decided to go, well, Biden's not running for office, so why are we talking about him? So why do you keep bringing up Trump every time we try to point out your failures as presidency, as vice presidency, as the administration, the government, in about the last almost 4 years?
Let me ask you this. You told many interviewers that Joe Biden was on his game, that ran around circles on his staff. When did you first notice that President Biden's mental faculties appeared diminished?
Joe Biden, I have watched from the Oval Office to the Situation Room, and he has the judgment and the experience to do exactly what he has done in making very important decisions on behalf of the American people.
There were no concerns raised?
Brett, Joe Biden is not on the ballot.
I understand.
And Donald Trump
but
is.
You talked about it.
And Donald Trump
After George Clooney said within a few minutes of talking to President Biden at a fundraiser that he thought this was not the same Joe Biden that we saw on the debate stage.
Donald Trump is on the ballot.
I understand. You met with him at least once a week for 3.5 years. You didn't have any concerns?
When she says that we're going to turn the page, these pretty little words that she likes to say but never actually explain. Turn the page on what? She goes, well, we're going to turn the page on Donald Trump's rhetoric. Like, okay, Donald Trump hasn't been passing policies for the past 4 years, bitch. Like, what page are you turning? And again, I love how he pointed out these polls of people saying 79%, almost 80% of America saying we've been on the wrong track. And the wrong track is your administration.
Your campaign slogan is a new way forward, and it's time to turn the page. You've been vice president for 3.5 years. So what are you turning the page from?
Well, first of all, turning the page from the last decade in which we have been burdened with the kind of rhetoric coming from Donald Trump that has been designed and implemented to divide our country.
More than 70% of people tell the country is on the wrong track. They say the country is on the wrong track. If it's on the wrong track, that track follows 3.5 years of you being vice president and President Biden being president. That is what they're saying, 79% of them. Why are they saying that? If you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
Madam
You
Vice
and I
President.
both know what I'm talking about. You and I both know what I'm talking about.
I actually don't. What are you talking about?
No one knows what you're talking about, Kamala. You and Biden have been in power for almost 4 years. The Democrats have been in power 12 of the last 16 years, but everything is Donald Trump's fault, apparently.
How are people supposed to vote for you where you can't even point out where you've gone wrong? Where you can't even point out what you could have done better? How are we supposed to trust that you're going to do anything different where you refuse to admit to the mistakes you've already done, right? At least with Donald Trump, I mean, he does love to kiss his own ass. However, he will say, like, you know what? I was new in town. I should have fired people quicker. I listened to the wrong people. I did some wrong things. He can admit to those things. But Kamala Harris is literally trying to pretend that the Democrats had the entire government in their back pocket and made mistake after mistake after mistake, but trying to pretend Donald Trump is the issue that everybody's worried about. No, we've lived through your 4 years. We lived through Biden's 4 years of America where you were vice president, and basically you're president right now, and you haven't done any of the things that you're promising the American people you're going to do. This was a great interview. it was very entertaining to watch her squirm. She threw some lies out there talking about Donald Trump said he's going to he's going to arrest people who disagree with him. He's been in office for 4 years already. He's never done that, but I believe your administration has done that, arresting random protesters from January 6th. And I think your best friend Obama has done that too when he was running for office. I'm not saying he's running for office now, but he's very close to you guys, to your administration, right? Saying that Trump said he's going to seek the military on peaceful protesters. Well, we know your definition of peaceful protesters. You guys think burning down the communities you say you're going to protect or you want to protect is peaceful protesting?
I want to be clear in how I characterize this. This is mostly a protest. It is not, generally speaking, unruly, but fires have been started.
The same type of peaceful protesting that you were caught donating to super PACs that was paying these looters bail. Kamala Harris is paying or donating money to super PACs that was paying the bail for people who was destroying communities, the same communities that you promised to protect. Those same peaceful protesters. So I'm pretty sure when Donald Trump says he's going to seek the military or the National Guards on protesters, he's talking about the ones who are destroying the communities you promised to protect. Anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think of this whole interview. I thought it was quite entertaining. I had my popcorn. One of the first things I watched in the morning. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you think Fox News missed the ball? Do you think they hit the nail on the head? Do you think that they'll ever let Kamala Harris back on that platform ever again? Let me know in the comment section down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell to get notifications when I do upload. All of that really does help with the algorithm, guys. So more so, my channel has been heavily shadow banned. YouTube has their foot on my neck, at least up until the election season, or the elections anyway. But yeah, if you want to support the channel any further, you can donate. My PayPal and Cash App link is in the comment section down below. And you guys have an amazing, beautiful day. Bye!